We are live.
Okay, thank you. I would like to call the meeting to order for the Racing Commission, Thursday, January 15th, 2026. Karen, could you call the roll, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. For the record, my name is Karen Parkman. I serve as the Director of Administration for the agency. Today, we have Chair Doherty,
Here.
Vice Chair Barry,
He waved
Commissioner
his hand.
Fowler,
Present.
Commissioner Stein,
Here.
Commissioner Kinsley.
Okay. Okay, maybe he'll come in a little later on. Okay, thank you. We do have a quorum. We need approvals for the next two items. One is the meeting agenda. And we do need to put on the meeting agenda a report from the Budget Committee. And so what would you suggest that between approvals and old business to have reports?
I would recommend putting it under old business right after director's report.
Got it. Okay, will do. And so we're going to be adding that. Do we have any other additions or questions about the agenda, commissioners? Okay, if not, I entertain a motion to accept the agenda as revised.
I'll
I
move
move.
to accept the agenda.
Okay,
I'll
thank you,
second.
Commissioner Fowler, and seconded by Commissioner Stein. The next thing in the meeting minutes, from last month. Are there any additions or corrections? Okay, again, I would need a motion to accept the minutes from the December meeting.
I move to approve the minutes from the December meeting or
Okay.
November.
Commissioner- Yeah, we're in November, I guess that's when we met.
Yeah,
Okay,
November.
it was moved by Commissioner Stein. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Fowler. All those in favor, raise your hand or say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, it is approved. The next thing we have is old business. And under old business, we have, well, first of all, welcome to 2026, all of you. And I can't believe it. Yeah. I keep remembering back when we were so worried about, when it turned 2000, we all had to kind of hide cash and that kind of thing, because we thought everything would fall apart, but that was only 26 years ago. Okay, so Director Nguyen, report.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to 2026, as previously stated by our esteemed chair. For the record, my name is Connie Nguyen. I'm the Executive Director of the Oregon Racing Commission. I'm pleased to begin by welcoming Dr. Carly Ross. She has officially started as our senior veterinarian, and all of you will get a chance to meet her and work with her over the next few months virtually, and of course at the meets this summer. Dr. Carly has also agreed that she will find some time in May, and we will work with Rod to figure out what the best days are, probably after you've gotten settled in, to get some horses off the list there. We're excited to have her experience and leadership on the board, on the commission.
Okay, great.
Although the short legislative session is still underway, current indications suggest that no funds will be reallocated from the Oregon Racing Commission's budget. However, we continue to monitor the development closely until the session concludes and the final budget forecast is released, which we expect in the next few weeks. I think most of you know that originally there was a 300 million something shortfall for the state, and then the revision was 68 million, so it went down substantially. We assume it's going to go down again, but you never know. So we'll just be patient. I'm also pleased to announce that several of our ADW partners have advocated for stricter vendor regulations, which were reflected in the rules we're presenting today. Oregon regulatory framework continues to set the gold standards, and I am proud that our ADW partners are committed to maintaining and enhancing that reputation. We're actively working to identify and replace our licensing database that meets both our operational needs and our budget constraints in collaboration with the Indiana Racing Commission, we are exploring the potential adoption of their in-house system, which we believe could be a viable solution and potentially much cheaper than the route we were going. So it could be some good news all around. Finally, as noted last month's meeting, we have received the results of my 360 degree review and the staff Gallup poll. Time constraints allowing, we will review those at the end today. Also, I wanted to give a special thanks to all of my team. Everybody's been working really hard on many different things recently, everything from the Dubai races to extra reporting. But there's a couple of standouts I really want to mention specifically today. One is we've had a couple possible new ADW affiliates come on, which have required a lot of additional work. And I want Micah and Chris stepping up. Chris has gotten a lot more licensing experience recently. And Micah has been traveling. He just got back from the Philippines. So a lot of work, a lot of research to try to get these people on board, which should help our bottom line. I also want to give a big shout out, and I don't think she's on. Oh, she is. To Dawn. I know Dawn doesn't like public recognition, but I want to give Dawn Rome a big shout out. She gets together all of our Greyhound reporting information for our annual report and did above and beyond. To everybody out there, it may not seem like a big deal, but for me, it's huge, and I just want to recognize her for that. That concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, do you have any questions? Okay, seeing none. Thank you, and thank you,
No.
staff. Oh, yes,
Sorry.
Commissioner Stein.
Yeah, the lawsuit, the Michigan, what was it? The Michigan Commission against, I think you said that you would give us an update and what that means for us.
I apologize. Thank you very much for reminding me of that, Dr. Stein, Commissioner Stein. Yes, so for those of you that don't know, I think most of you are aware that there has been a lawsuit pending between Churchill Downs and Michigan. That lawsuit, I mean, they can always appeal again, but at this point, Churchill Downs has won the last 2 rounds. So it looks like they're sitting really nice now with that. What exactly does that mean? That's what gets a little more complicated. So the lawsuit was basically saying that, and I won't go into all the background because it would take too long to explain it, but basically they're telling CDI, Churchill Downs has told Michigan that they do not have to have an individual license in Michigan because they already have a license with Oregon, and we are multi-jurisdictional. Based on the horse racing International Horse Racing Act, the judges agreed and stated that no, they don't have to have a license there as long as they're abiding by the other rules. What that means for us, there's good and bad on this. It's mostly good. Is if this continues, that our ADWs might not have to get individual licenses in every single state they operate in. And they don't right now, but there's many that they do. I can't even tell you the number, 12, 14 maybe. So they have to get all these individual licenses in individual states plus our license. If that's the case, they may stop getting all of those individual licenses, which would save them a lot of money. And a lot of headaches because they're trying to follow everybody else's different application. The bad news about that, in my opinion, is if somebody's licensed in North Dakota, right now we have a company that's licensed in North Dakota that's operating in Oregon. We feel it's illegal for them to operate in Oregon. And we just had a new law upon the book saying we can charge them $25,000 for every violation. That may no longer hold because they have a license in North Dakota. So if it goes one way, it's got to go the other way as well. So there's There's a lot to play out in this. I imagine that there's going to be more challenges to this. None of my other ADWs are running out and getting rid of all their licenses, nor is Churchill Downs. They're keeping all their other licenses at this point. So right now it's kind of a moot point, except for the fact that they did win the case
Okay,
in the future. Does that help? Any questions?
Commissioner
Well,
Stein?
Yeah, no, I thought also that it had to do with if the state allows horse racing, that they could not deny ADW wagering. And I think Texas might be the next in line or something like that.
Yeah, they could be. Churchill Downs had filed against Texas once before, many years ago. I don't know when. Micah, do you know exactly when that was? It was some time ago, and they lost that case. They could go back and try again at this point. So that's a possibility. I don't know. They have not. If I had confidential information, I would tell you that I can't speak to it. I just don't have any information on that right now. I don't know what Churchill Downs or anyone else is planning on doing at this point. I'm
Okay,
sure some companies out there are gonna push it.
sure. Okay, any other questions, commissioners? Okay, thank you for your report. The next thing that we had added to the agenda was a budget committee hearing or summary. And there we will have to have one point of action. But Commissioner Fowler and I this morning met with Director Nguyen on the budget and, with the session starting next month, looking at it. And so what we're hopefully, what will hopefully pass is us today to make the authority for Director Nguyen to go to the emergency board, the E-board in the legislature, asking for approval from them to increase their limitation of funds. And on that note, I'm going to have Director Nguyen explain what we want to go to the E-board for, but we need to go through and give her the authority to do that. So Director Nguyen, if you could talk about what the issue is.
Right. So I think all of you know that our funds were cut considerably last year. We thought we could make more money than that. Our budget came in quite a bit higher and was cut down substantially. We thought that we wouldn't have an issue because we felt very comfortable that we would get our 25% bill approved, the 25% of the hub funds that we currently give to the state. That was the plan at the beginning, but due to budget shortfalls, that bill did not go through. We looked at making a number of cuts, including I even offered to cut my own position, to a part-time position, and they said, no, you're going to have to find the money somewhere else. So we've made drastic cuts, and some of those cuts are not realistic. For example, we ended up paying more than we would before on things like testing. We need to be doing more testing, not less. If we keep the current budget, even though we're going to a new lab that's cheaper, we're going to have to drastically reduce the amount of testing we're doing. We will have to cut other things. We've already cut all of our additional travel that we do. Right now, we can't currently have any of our commissioners go to our events, which doesn't make sense. How can you be a good commissioner if you're not going to the race meets? And we also know that we're going to get, not only are we making more money as we knew we would, we see the potential to even make additional money with these new affiliates that are coming on. So that will allow us to go and take this up. I'll work with the CFOs area. I've never done this before myself to find out the best strategy to do this and hopefully get enough money to put back the money that we've lost to do the things that we need to be doing, like going to conferences where people are expecting us to be there, to being able to help pay for things like perhaps the warning system or other things that we just can't afford right now. I mean, it's at a point right now where I'm like, do you really need to buy a new calendar for next year? We're really watching every single penny. And we have the money. That's what really sucks. We're going to try to get enough money. We can also hopefully be able to give a little more out to the associations, but I don't want anybody to count on anything. Just assume we are where we are until we get through this process.
Okay, so
Um,
what we're
but-
asking is the commission, oh, excuse me, did
Okay.
somebody have a question? Is we need to pass a motion to authorize our director to go to the e-board to hopefully authorize more spending, to increase the limitations that we have on funds. So we're asking approval from the commission for her to go to the emergency board. Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Commissioner Fowler moves that we approve that our director go to the emergency board to explain the situation. Is there a second?
I'll
Commissioner
second.
Stein? Commissioner Stein, any questions? Okay, all those in favor, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. And so I don't know, and the emergency board is not, I don't think they've set any time or whatever. And for those of you that don't know what it is, the emergency board is a setup of legislators, most of them from the Ways and Means Committee. And they kind of, once the budget is set, they go through and monitor it, or if money comes up, or if questions come up, or if a municipality or a local or whatever needs to hopefully get some more money, or an agency, they can go to the emergency board, and the emergency board has funds to allocate for different projects or different whatevers. They have the authority to do that. So that's what the emergency board is. Okay, we're moving to new business. Now we've got a lot of things on our plate for new business. And so the next 5 things we're going to be talking about is discussion and possible approval to begin the rulemaking process for the following rules. And we have 5 rules that we're talking about. So Commissioner or Director Wynn, if you want to start out with the proposed prohibition of associations with non-compliant vendors.
Sure. This is something I mentioned, Commissioner Chair, in the opening remarks I made. Our group of ADWs want to make sure that we continue to have the gold standard. They want to make sure that we can help with ensuring that the companies that they're doing business with aren't doing business with bad actors. It's all in an effort to make sure that our industry as a whole is headed in the right direction. So we don't have a bad actor someplace else that brings down the whole industry, is kind of the short answer in all of this. It applies to basically everyone. We've gotten some really great feedback already from one of our ADWs. We have a meeting set up in February to get some additional feedback. It's a pretty comprehensive list. I expect that there will be changes in the rulemaking process as we're supposed to. So at this point, we're just asking for approval to make Oregon racing great. So that's it. Any questions on that?
Any questions, commissioners? Okay, because we all got the information a couple of weeks ago. So I think on these, what we'll do is just have a motion to approve to begin the rulemaking process. Do we have that?
So moved.
Okay, so moved that we can begin the rulemaking process for this OAR. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Stein, all those in favor, please raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay, it passes. So we begin the rulemaking process on that one. The next one defines customers,
Can I
white
interject for
labels, and
just a
so on.
second? Can I interject
Yes,
for just this? I
yes.
feel like the last time we were approving rules, our legal wanted us to just put the rule number on the record with each one. I seem to recall that. So I don't mind doing that like we did the last time
Okay.
around, just so the record's clear with which OAR we're talking about.
Okay, because I will go through and do that because the first 5 is just to begin the rulemaking process versus the next ones that we're going to talk about, we will actually approve the rules. But what we
Gotcha.
just approved was OAR 462-220-0085 to begin the rulemaking process. But thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, the next one is rulemaking process for OAR 462-220-0010, sub 3, sub 4, sub 8. And so, Director, what is that rule that we would like to put into process eventually?
Sure. This one is 3, 4, and 8. This is under our definitions, and this defines authorized wagering partners, white label operators, and non-compliant vendors, as well as ADW customers. So this just clarifies some things in our definitions. If you have any questions about that, let me know. And again, this is just the beginning of the process. We'll have meetings. We'll probably have an advisory group meeting for all of these for everyone to hash it out. And I know that I've already had people contact me about these.
Right, okay. Okay, do we approve them beginning the rulemaking process on the statute we just mentioned?
I'll make that. I'll
Great.
move to approve the rulemaking process. to
Thank you
begin the
much.
process.
And we've got a second from Dr. Stein, Commissioner Stein. All
Yes.
those in favor, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
It is passed. The third one is OAR 462-220-0030. It changes the name of affiliate to authorized wagering partner.
And this rule came up for a couple reasons. I'm looking forward to the feedback on this. This was partially because of the fact that some of our licensees, by definition of affiliate means different things in different places. By changing it to authorized wagering partner, it we believe that definition is just a little more concrete into what they really are.
Okay. Okay. Do we have approval to go start the rulemaking process? Commissioner Fowler.
Yes, so moved.
Okay, second.
So seconded.
Very good. All those in favor, raise your hand or say aye.
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 Okay, thank you. We'll begin rulemaking process number 3. And then the last one under the approval to begin the rulemaking process is payment due date source market fees.
As I continue to scroll down.
Yep. Because the last
Oh.
one was very long.
Payment due date source market fees.
That is what is on the agenda.
I'm looking for what we have in there. I apologize. I can't remember what I was going to do on this one. I remember putting it on there.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I think after traveling and having vacation, Micah, do you remember why we put that on there? Payment due date source market fees. Oh, I do remember. All right. So what this is for is we thought it would be a good idea to come up with a new rule. We don't have anything written yet that would state that for the source market fees that are paid to the association. So just in case you don't know, if an ADW takes an Oregon resident and they make a wager, a portion of that wager goes to our associations and really helps fund them. A lot of it goes to the track, frankly. Well, we've had a hard time with some of them paying on time. So we thought that it would be advantageous to put maybe a must pay within 30 days
Okay.
to try and help the process. So again, we don't have a rule written for this yet. We want to start the rulemaking process and see if we can get some input from our stakeholders and interested parties on what a good time frame might be for that.
Okay. It sounds good. So we approve the beginning of the rulemaking process.
I'll move to approve the beginning of the rulemaking process.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Fowler, and a second by Commissioner Stein.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, all those in favor that moves on, just raise your hand or say aye.
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 Thank you. Okay, so the next thing we move into is discussion and possible approval to adopt the following rules. And we've got a bunch under here. So the first one is, and Director Nguyen will explain, OAR 462-200-0360 sub 1 overtrack OTB license requirements.
Great. All right, so this first one is just super simple. This one should have gone through quite a while ago. We just missed it. This
Mhm.
was just changing all employees and officials, which we used to require to be licensed at the OTBs, to the general manager or the owner, if no general manager. And the person who's doing those duties otherwise. And the reason this was needed is it used to be that the off-track betting locations had a hired teller that personally took the wagers and put them in, and that was rotating amongst staff. So we had to have them all licensed. That's no longer the case. All of them are automated tellers now. So there's no reason to make these OTBs have all of those individual licenses.
Because I noticed it's basically a couple of word changes in the current
Correct.
one. Okay, are there any questions from the commissioners? It looks like it went through the process and the deadline for hearing was actually in November, so. So we've gone through the process. Any questions on this, commissioners? Okay, I'd like to have a motion to adopt OAR 462-200-0360 sub 1.
So moved.
Okay, Commissioner Fowler moves, and it is seconded by Commissioner Stein. I see his hand up, so. Okay.
Yes. Second.
Thank you. Okay, all those in favor, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so motion passes. And I'm having us raise our hand for Commissioner Berry, who's in some sort of in quiet land. Okay, the next one we have is increased daily fees, OAR 462-220-0030 sub 6.
And Chair Doherty, if I may, I was able to hack myself in through the phone call, which is also available to Oregonians. So I am available if you have any questions. I'm trying to restrain myself because we should try to restrain ourselves.
Well, thank you, because
Cheers.
if you want to make a motion, you are most welcome to do that. But thank you and welcome.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Okay, so increased daily fees.
Chair, before I get started, I want to share that Mark, oh, sorry, I thought that was from Mark, our commissioner. It was something else. It was spam, actually. I won't tell you about my spam email, I guess. All right, so the next rule is on the individual licensing fee. We have already changed this in statute and it's already in effect. What this does is it just corrects the rule to match the statute that it's $225 a day instead of $200. So it's just a technical correction.
Okay. Okay, any questions? Okay, could we have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Thank you, Commissioner Fowler.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
Commissioner Fowler moves, and do we have a second?
I will second.
Okay, Commissioner Stein. All those in favor, either say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's again another unanimous. Okay. You know, I do want to make a side comment. We go through all of this, but I do appreciate these statutes being updated and made more modern and, brought and faced issues that we are facing or could face. So I appreciate the updating and and the watch, because it's not necessarily the most exciting stuff to read. Okay. Except Kelly she likes reading those things. Okay, the next one that we have for approval for adoption is OAR 462-220-0030 sub 3F. And what does that do, Director? It adds requirements for affiliate backgrounds and SLAs.
What you said, yes. It basically adds, so what has happened, and again, we've talked about this, is some of our affiliates are doing more than just providing a page. Some of them are actually operating our their own call centers, for example. So we feel that it's important that they are also subject officially to background checks.
Mhm. Good. Okay. Any questions? Any concerns? Okay, do we have a proposal to accept it?
I'll move to accept this
Okay,
rule.
I
as a
second.
rule. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept as a rule, OAR 642-220-0030 3 sub F. All those in favor, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, motion passes. The next one is OAR 462-220-0040 sub 4-5. Cleans up language and addresses non-merged pools, whatever that is.
Well, actually, this one changed quite a bit because we did, Chair Doherty, commissioners, we did have quite a bit of feedback on this. Some of the things we were initially going to change, we ended up not changing. Some language we put in, we ended up taking out. So at the end of the day, the way that it will go in the books is they'll follow the same that are. The affiliates really haven't changed. We didn't make any changes to their pay structure. So the majority of this is really just cleaning up the language.
Okay,
And also what it does is it just says we've been every year we go back and put a new rule in that says how much they have to pay the following year. Instead of that, we're just going to post on our website. So
Okay.
we're not completely redoing the words. The rest
Yeah.
of it is mainly cleanup language.
yeah, because quite a bit of this I've noticed is cleanup language. There might be a 5-page statute with only one word change.
Right,
Okay,
and so things on here that also change, just so if you're looking at your packet, it says there will be no maximum payment assessed on wagers for these. That is not going to be in there. That whole piece will be taken out
okay,
because we're not making any changes to the affiliate payments at this time.
okay. Okay, any questions from the, next item, because I noticed this, any questions from the commissioners? Okay, do we have a motion to adopt the following, the rule that we've been talking about?
I'll move to adopt this rule.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Fowler. Is there a second?
I
Commissioner
second.
Stein, second. Okay, all those in favor, say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the rule passes. And so the last one for approval under this section is OAR 462-220-0050 sub 1B.
Chair Doherty,
Yeah.
this one really just cleans up some language. It was doing a flat 1% fee for non-merged pools. We changed that to because it doesn't make sense. I mean, a really tiny pool would be not enough to cover our expenses, and a huge pool would be way more than our expenses. So we're just changing it to the commission may require reimbursement of any oversight of non-merged pools.
Okay. Sounds good, makes it easier. Any questions, commissioners? Okay, seeing none, a motion?
I'll move to adopt this rule.
Okay, Commissioner Fowler moves to adopt. Is there a second?
I move to second.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Stein. All those in favor, say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Again, unanimous. Okay. The next thing we have, and actually I appreciate all this discussion. I thought this would be a very, very long meeting. And so far, knock on wood, it's gone very smoothly, so thank you. The next thing we
Chair
have
Doherty, I
is,
think you have a question.
oh, yes,
Right.
from,
If you, Chair, just make sure if you take his, we open up for public comment and take everyone's.
Yeah, this isn't a public comment. This is just Dave and Leah Nelson are trying to get in on the meeting and they need to be let in. So if
Okay.
somebody could let them in,
I don't, could you identify yourself, please?
this is Rod Lowe.
Okay,
Rod, there's nobody trying to get in. We're looking at the list of people.
Yep.
They're not, I don't know what call they're trying to get into, but it's not this one.
Nope, I don't have
Okay.
any pending people.
yeah,
All right, I'll let
because
them
it
know.
comes up on this, yeah, it comes up on the screen, so.
Okay,
This call is recorded so they can listen to it afterwards, or they can try calling into the number. Perhaps, Malia, could you resend Leah the
I
correct?
got it. I got it. I'm doing it right now.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
great.
Thank
all
you,
the
Karen.
links. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rod. Okay, the next is to review and possibly approve some policies and some things that we're bringing up. And the first one is the Oregon Racing Commission dust storm policy.
And Chair, I recommend that after this is introduced, that we open this up to public comment, because of the fact that this actually came from our tabletop exercise. One of our scenarios for the tabletop exercise was what happens if you have a major dust storm. So I'm going to turn this over to the creator of the document to talk through it, then open it up for public comment. And we don't have to necessarily do anything on it this time. I almost would rather. We'll see how the conversation goes.
Okay.
If people want more time to look at this, we can wait until next time and come back to it, but this is at least an introduction. With that, I'm going to turn over to Michael Lloyd.
Okay, just one question, because we've got 5 of these that are all different policies and so on. And maybe this might be the time for all of them. We just introduce, talk, ask questions, and then go through and maybe deal with them next month.
Perfect.
Would that be okay? Okay, so Micah, the dust storm policy.
Thank you, Chair Doherty. My name is Michael Lloyd. I am staff member, Director of Mutuals for the Oregon Racing Commission. This was a policy that we drafted from our, as Director Nguyen stated, from some of our tested considerations as a group, as a staff. We looked through possible scenarios that may affect racing within the state of Oregon. And one of the scenarios drew awareness to possible issues where the dust might affect racing, and towards that, we drafted this initial policy to help address that. It's rather elaborate, but simply it just defines who's responsible for making decisions, how we're going to determine whether or not action needs to be taken, and the drills down the operational response levels. It's a work in progress, and I look forward to feedback as the policy review stages progress.
Okay, so would you like some feedback
Uh,
now and then people can give feedback later on or at another time? What would you prefer?
Let's,
Well-
I'd like to open up for public comment
Okay,
at least. And if everybody hasn't had a chance to read it, especially our track people, please let me know and then we can just put it back on the next agenda.
okay, and so if you got public comment, if on the computer, if you can raise your hand, and so we can see that the people, because Alice Lombard just raised her hand.
Chair,
So
could
far. And so
I would
Alice,
just like,
oh, go ahead. Who is speaking?
no, I just have a question that, is it only dust storm or is it also high winds? Is that included in that?
Well, on the document, it said dust storms, blowing dust, and wind-related airborne particulate conditions is what the paper reads. Does that answer your
Okay.
question?
And we can certainly,
Well, I mean,
share, we,
Yeah, whoever's speaking is breaking up, so we can't all hear the question.
Dr. Stein, you may have to,
Microphone off if you're the dog.
okay,
Um,
well, my question is related to the, to wind in general. It had nothing to do with particulates, but high winds. I know in New York, they had canceled several times because, so I would should probably include that in there.
Okay, okay, so that's a good suggestion. Okay, Alice, you were the next one that had your hand up.
Dr. Alice Lombard, my only thing I think is echoing what Dr. Stein is saying as well, is figuring out the verbiage that includes particulate debris and what we're really talking about. I mean, the dust storm term gets used in different ways, so let's put together what the wording verbiage is for that. Are we
Okay.
talking about respiratory? Are we talking about those kind of things? That's my only comment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other input, Rod? I see your hand up.
Yeah, I don't think Grants Pass has an issue with this unless there is some other part of that, like Dr. Lombard was talking about, whether it's particulates or something like that. But I haven't seen the policy, so maybe somebody can send that to me again if I missed it somewhere. So
It was in the it was in the packet that was sent out. And
which is
Okay,
also on our
well,
webpage. It's on our
those
webpage.
packets
Also-
are about 150 pages long, so.
yeah, it's on, just for your information, it's starting on page 44 of the
Okay,
packet that was sent out. In fact, 44 down for at least a while, it has all of these 5 things that we're talking about.
okay,
And
I
so
can
it's
go
on
back and
page-
look at it
yeah.
then.
Yeah, it's on
All
page,
right.
starts on page 44.
All right, thanks.
Okay, any other questions or comments or,
Karen has her hand up and I'm after her.
okay, I can't see any hands, so. Oh, I see, Karen does have her hand. Oh, they're little tiny hands.
And now they're
Okay.
numbered too, so we know who's in line. I just wanted to comment, it sounded like what Dr. Stein, Commissioner Stein was getting at is maybe wind speeds too, not
Okay.
just the, that's, and I didn't know if that came through and, because it was kind of garbled how he was, but I think it's more like what he was adding to that was the speed of the wind, if that makes a
Okay,
difference. Living in the gorge, I understand that concern.
okay. Does that pretty much cover it, Dr. Stein? Okay, and
Yes.
Director Nguyen,
Yes,
and then
I
I
just,
have Lloyd and Micah's on there.
I wanted to add one thing that may be helpful for everyone else. I'd just like to throw this out for a little public comment. I was thinking about this last time and after Rod's, would it be helpful if after the agenda page, if we had a page with hot links on it to get to everything? So you could just click on it to get to that area?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, rather than trying to get through all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
got a couple
could
of
even, yeah, we could even put the links right in the agenda. And Malia, if you don't know how to do that, I can show you. It's super easy.
Okay, that was
Okay.
gonna be my question, is if you or Micah could teach me how to do it.
Okay,
And then
Okay,
Micah has
great.
his hand up too.
okay, Micah has his hand up. I do see his hand up.
Thank you. So yeah, just one last thing. I think to summarize and to paraphrase a comedian, it is not that the wind is blowing, but what the wind is blowing that we need to
Yes.
clarify here.
Yes. Okay. Any other input? Because this is not, I mean, we're gonna have more input on this, so. Okay, but it's a good start. Okay, the next thing, I think with all of these, there's just discussion, there's no approval, correct, Director Nguyen? Okay,
Correct.
we'll let Commissioner Fowler off for a while. She doesn't have to make motions for a while. The second thing is the Oregon Racing Commission auditing charter. And that's actually, for people's information, begins on page 49 of the,
Right. And again, we can give you a chance to look over it, but basically what this does, this is really something that I don't really as a commission, it's important that you're reviewing and approving all of our policies and how we operate, that senior management is aware of exactly what we're doing. So that's why we're bringing all of these to you. As a commission that does a lot of auditing, between Micah, Dawn, inspection that Chris is doing, and Karen, for any association out there that's involved in auditing, you should have an auditing charter. So we're just putting it in writing that we actually have an auditing charter and that we've met and we've described what the responsibilities of all of the team is and what our auditing standards are.
Okay.
And
Do we
that one,
not-
I think you probably could approve today because we have never had one before.
I was just gonna ask you whether we've ever had one before. And I think I'm a little hesitant for approval, just if people have input or if people want some time to look over it or whatever. Is it all right if we put it on next month's agenda?
Put on February and we'll
Okay.
make sure that it's indexed so you can find them easily.
Yeah, because it is quite lengthy. I mean, it's got the vision and the purpose and a lot of it is, updating, but I think it's very much of an excellent start.
I
not-
want
it's
you to
not a
know
finish.
that I found things to do over the last couple of months. That's really,
Oh, geez. We gotta make sure, keep you busy so we don't stop these things. Okay, so we'll go through if commissioners and the members of our audience and so on can go through and look through that if they want to, and we will bring this up in February. The next policy that's being brought up is the disaster recovery policy.
correct. And this is a requirement of our continuation of operation plan, which is a requirement of the state. They actually have their own database that we had to complete. Also part of our disaster planning, which what brought up the rule that Micah put together for us and introduced. So this just details the disaster recovery plan, who our partners are, some areas that we would have to consider, and what we would do for different types of risk.
Right, and this begins on page 59 for people that are interested in it. And this is the new policy, correct?
As a new policy.
Or, okay, and so it does go through, it's quite detailed. Are there any questions or input on this, or is this something that commissioners, do you want to give some time to maybe give some more input? Because I know we've got
Rod Lowe has
Rod's hands up, yeah.
Yeah, I have a question because all of our race meets now are at fairgrounds facilities. And how is this coordinating with what their disaster recovery policies are at the fairgrounds?
This is just related to what ORC controls, nothing to do with what the fairgrounds control. But I will look through it again since it's been a day or two since I looked at it. But this is really supposed to be what is our responsibility as commission members.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, we have racing, which is 30 days a year, but we have lots of other activities too that we have to be prepared for. Micah was just overseas in a country that had recent terrorist activity. We may be in a country where they could have other kind of emergency. So we have to address other things than just that. So some of the things on here, for example, are communication protocol, how we would communicate with each other. What if our Verizon network fell apart? What do we do if the licensing database fails? Our tote operators fail. Most of this is not so much related to what you guys do.
Mm-hmm. Because in fact, it's on page 64 where they talk about fair meets, but it's more talking about the tote system and our physical presence and oversight. So, Micah, input?
And it's somewhat in line with what I am also reviewing in my audits of my external audits of the companies that are licensed with us. What are their disaster recovery processes? So this is something that is in line with how does this agency continue to operate in the event of an emergency that takes staff out of commission or whatnot.
Because it's quite a detailed, 12-page, quite a detailed plan, but looks good. Commissioners, any questions or any other input from other folks? Mike, is your hand still up, or do you have another question? Or okay. Okay. Just going over, it looks very complete. So hopefully we'll never ever have to use it. And then the last policy is conflict of interest policy, and that starts on page 71.
We've had this policy for some time. We just never actually got it formalized by the commission.
Okay.
So this is actually just referring to conflict of interest, that our staff and our contract employees can't be, in the morning working on the track, in the afternoon, charging to be a courier or anything else that has to do with the licensees.
Right. Okay.
Micah, you can't work for any of the ADWs on the side.
No. Commissioners, do you feel comfortable approving this, or do you want to wait for another next meeting?
I feel comfortable approving it. I would move to approve it.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
I guess I'll second it.
Commissioner Stein, seconding. Okay, any questions? Because it's not a real long policy, and it's something obvious we've been doing before, so. Okay, all those in favor, please say aye, or raise your hand.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous. So we now have it in there. Okay, so that's all we have, at least under new business for policies and that kind of thing. The next thing we have is a request for redistribution approval of grant money. Mr. Lowe?
Yeah, I submitted this. We had, as you know, last year we got funding for fixing up the jockey's room, and we ended up getting it done under budget. We had a new jock's room roof put on. We got the dry rot taken care of. We had leaks inside of the building, and they had areas where we had damage in the corners. We had the drywall repaired, and then we had some exterior siding and trim repaired that was rotted. So I came up about almost $10,000 under budget. So when I was looking at the rest of our facility there by the Jock's room, our paddock roof has been missing panels for some time and is in dire straits of having a new roof put on it with some new structure. The structure is rotted and falling down too. And then our weight room area canopy was starting to separate, and the posts were leaning where it had the possibility of collapsing. So I've asked to redistribute those funds to fix those areas, and I had sent a request plus some pictures of what we're trying to fix.
Okay, and I appreciated that. So my question is that the estimated cost from the contractor was $9,800, and that is still within the amount of money that we had approved for you?
Yes, there was $9,700 actually left over, so I'll
Okay.
pay the other $100 out of my pocket, so.
Okay. Any questions, any concerns about this? Is this something that we have done before? Because it's not any additional money. It's just, having it go where it needs to go. Are there any questions, comments?
I think it's great. He
Well-
saved some money doing one thing and is able to put it towards another thing. So I'm all in favor.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Commissioner Stein, you had your hand up.
No, I was just
Yeah,
gonna make a
Harley.
motion that we approve the
I don't
redistribution,
know, what do you want? There's some Irish
authorization on the
nachos in there if you want 'em.
redistribution of funds.
Okay,
I'll second.
Okay, so it has been moved and seconded to accept the proposal from Mr. Lowe. Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor either say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it's unanimous. So you could start fixing your roof.
Well, it's halfway done, so I'm
Okay.
I'm thankful that you approved it.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
no, we changed our mind. No.
Is that why I saw you on the freeway the other day with a bucket saying, you know, we'll work
Yeah.
for a roof? Okay,
Yeah, that's
things are
it.
getting pretty bad. Okay, thank you. The second to the last thing we have here is a director, and it's 225. A director's 360 review, Director Nguyen.
Yes, so we have the two things I'm going to just cover at the same time, 8 and 9, if that's all right with you.
Yes,
These are
please.
annually, and I'm actually doing it backwards. No, I won't. I'll do it the right way. Oh, why did I embed that? That wasn't smart. Hang on, let me make sure I can open this first. We have a requirement to have a Gallup employee survey done every year, as well as we now are doing an outside, starting this year, 360 review. And this is just a chance for the commissioners and everyone to quickly look at these and see how they look. And I'm glad to email them over to you afterwards. I think I will, but I wanted to at least show publicly. So
Okay, I appreciate that.
we are on the same page. One of the things that we have planned to do is to in the future, we can't control when the Gallup is done. So that will always be after you guys do my evaluation, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. But for the
Is this, can I ask, is this done by an outside agency or?
So yeah, so we thought to make the 360, I did my own 360 review last time. It was through it wasn't like I was personally asking him. I did a survey monkey, and provided the results to you. This time we had a contract HR person do it. And then they evaluated all of it, and they put this together for us to have it be more appealing for people to actually take the time to do it. So I'll just go through these categories real quickly. If you have anything you want me to stop on, I will. Otherwise, I'll email it out to all of you.
Okay.
Customer service centered. You can see that acceptable, effective, a couple people, but most of them think I'm pretty effective. Collaborates, manages resources. To say only acceptable, so I need to work on some people with that. And this was sent out to everybody, stakeholders, online people, other agencies, everyone. So this went out to probably 60, 75 different people. And we only got like 25 results.
And you'll be sending this out to us after.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
sure why these aren't showing on here all of a sudden. There we go. For some reason, they're not showing. Effective. Nobody said unacceptable. There was something on here where two people were really disappointed in me. So I'm trying to find that for full disclosure. Individual fosters and promote an inclusive workplace environment. So two people say I do not foster an inclusive workplace environment. So that's clearly something I'll work on to figure out how I can make the workplace more. And again, I don't know if that was staff or somebody out there in the community, but
And they didn't go further as to no specifics.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
So,
but it's something to work on.
Something I work on, yeah.
Yeah.
Fosters and promotes inclusiveness. All right. So that's all of that then. And I'll send it to you guys so you have it. The other one is, this is staff only. Apparently nobody has a best friend at work. I'm okay with that. We're a small staff. But that is one of the points. We got no points in there. It's okay. I love you guys all too, but hey. We did better in some areas and I did worse in other areas. Some of this may be because we had different staff that were answering it this year because we had, it was during the summer this time. Last time it was in the fall. So we had some seasonal employees that were on this time that we didn't have the last time we did it. So, nose was expected. Got a perfect score on that. Went down a little bit on have the materials and equipment I need to do my job right. Down to 4.5. Opportunity to do what I do best every day was a 5. In the last 7 days, I have received recognition for my work. That's not necessarily me. That could be my managers. So I thank my managers for that. My manager or someone at work cares about me as a person. Again, I thank my managers for that. There is someone at work who encourages my development. That went down slightly by one person. So anybody on my team, if you need more encouragement, let me know. At work, my opinion seems to count. We did pretty well there.
That's a good
The
one.
mission, oh, and this one I think was lower last time. The mission or purpose of my agency makes me feel my job is important. That's good. My coworkers are committed to doing quality. That's good. Everybody seems to think everybody else is doing well. Again, no friends. This one went down. In the last 6 months, someone at work has talked to me about my progress. So let's, I will be reaching out to everyone that's directly under me, and my managers will do the same, but still not bad. The last year I have had the opportunity to, at work, to learn and grow. So overall, they were pretty good. I will say most of the small agencies have done pretty well on this compared to the large agencies. The large agencies tend to do a lot worse. I think it's because we get to know our staff more.
Yeah. Well, and I think part of it just with everybody working remotely and you're not going into the same office every day, and going to the same cubicle and so on, sometimes makes it so you don't have your best friends. So, but all the other things seem good. And I think it's always important to value the employees we have because you guys do all the work.
Yeah,
And I truly appreciate that.
We have, I want to let all of you guys know, we have an amazing team. We really do. We have a really super great team here, and I'm really proud of all of them.
Yeah, they're very good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, that's the last thing we have on the agenda. We are now open for public comment. Do you have any public comment? Anybody has anything to say? Mr. Lowe?
Yeah, just a couple things. Going back to the payment due date, source market fee, I collect those, so I'm the one that tries to keep track of that and tries to keep up with them. And for the most part, the ADWs do a good job with that. Every once in a while, we get 1 or 2 ADWs that get behind. This year, we had one that got behind quite a bit, but currently they are all caught up through November. So I just wanted to let you know that they are doing a good job. Once in a while they do get behind. I give them a call and we work it out and they get me payments. And so we are currently caught up. So so for the future, the way it works is you got to get through a full month. And then the next month, I usually by the end of the next month, so about 60 days later, we're hoping that we have payment. So just kind of keep that in mind for the future when you're trying to make that determination. I think a 60-day is better than a 30-day just because the whole time to process everything, them get their paperwork done, get it to me, get me the check or by bank statement or whatever. So just a comment on that real quick. I also have the HRA dates pending approval. will start on September 13th and 14th, 20th and 21st, 27th and 28th, October 4th and 5th, and 11th and 12th. So just for future for everybody looking at fall dates for this year for HRA meet. We'll look at move in on September 5th and start training on September 9th. So that's pending approval with the ORC, but just to kind of get that out so people kind of know how to start planning for the fall. And as far as for trying to look at the SORA meet, we're looking at a move-in date May 1st, and we're looking at starting training May 4th. So that'll help with Connie, with you trying to set up some times to get people off the vets list. So
Okay,
that's all I have.
okay, thank you. Any other comments? Okay, I don't see any other hands up. If I missed it, please let me know. Okay, hearing no other public comments, we have no contested cases. We're not having an executive session. The next commission meeting is Thursday, February 19th at 1:30 on Microsoft Teams. And that is it. I appreciate all the input. Got a lot done today. And it's a good start to 2026. So with that, we have a movement, a motion to adjourn.
I'll
I move to
Oh,
adjourn.
wait, he trumped
Jinx.
it. Okay, Commissioner Stein moves to adjourn and it is seconded by Commissioner Fowler. Okay, all those in favor of adjourning?
Bye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate all you do. And we'll see you next month. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a happy
You
weekend.
got it.